Hello, I'm Ronald Hawkins, principal of Capital Prep Harbor Lower School, and I'm also a concert pianist. During this pandemic, I was thinking, how can I integrate my love of music and literature? I wanted to share my music with you, and I found the perfect book to do so. The book is entitled Beethoven Lives Upstairs, and it's a collection of letters from a young man named Christoph to his uncle Carl. The letters will take us through a couple of weeks, and in between the letters, you will hear music which I am performing by Beethoven. So let's get started. Beethoven Lives Upstairs. On Thursday, March 29, 1827, the people of Vienna flooded into the street. They came to pay respect to Ludwig van Beethoven, the great composer who had died 3 days earlier. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 priests blessed the coffin, and the funeral procession left Mr. Beethoven's house for the church. So dense were the crowds that the 1-block journey took 1 hour and a half. I wasn't in Vienna on that famous day. I was a student of music in Salzburg at that time. But if you had looked carefully, you might have spotted in the crowd a little boy with a serious face. He is Christoph, my nephew, and there was a time when he came to know Mr. Beethoven quite well. It was not a happy time in Christoph's life. He was only 10 years old, and his father had recently died. The first of Christoph's letters arrived at my house in the autumn of 1822. I was surprised that he had written. I had not seen my nephew for some years. September 7th, 1822. Dear Uncle, I hope you remember me. It is Christoph, your nephew, who writes. As to the reason, I will not keep you in suspense. I write, Uncle, because something terrible has happened. A madman has moved into our house. Do you remember that when Father died, Mother decided to rent out his office upstairs? Well, she has done it, and Ludwig van Beethoven has moved in. Every morning at dawn, Mr. Beethoven begins to make his dreadful noise upstairs. Loud pounding and howling coming through the floor. They are like the sounds of an injured beast. All morning, Mr. Beethoven carries on this way. After lunch, he storms into the street. He comes home sometimes long after the house is quiet for the night, tracking mud and stamping his way up the stairs above our heads. Mother says, I mustn't blame him. He's deaf and can't hear the noise he makes. But he wakes up the twins and they start their crying. And they cry all day. Uncle, I must make this one request. I beg you to tell my mother to send Mr. Beethoven away. Your nephew, Christoph.